What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 175 of Ghost in the Night, a paranormal and true crime podcast. Tonight, we're going down the true crime rabbit hole with Travis. What are we doing?
Finger buttholes.
No, we're not. We're not doing anything of that sort. We're going to cover serial killers. As always, I should introduce myself. I'm Phil, and as always, Travis is sitting to my left. Tonight, we are doing the BTK killer.
Yes.
So this is for the ladies, because we know how much you ladies love the true crime and serial killer shit. So that is what we're doing. Get you all juicy and flowing.
Loosey goosey, baby.
Of course, I don't understand why women love the serial killers. It makes me a little nervous. I haven't slept good. I've been in a relationship for the past 10 years, actually 22 years, and I haven't slept good since.
Excuse me.
But now that I'm single, I am sleeping much better. Except for I got that little chalupa cobra. She's liable to take a bite out of my ass at any time.
Oh, no, but I just sent a fucking Snapchat to a bunch of people and on my story. I might make a Snapchat for the... Yeah. Oh, that's all? That's all you noticed, Gonzo? You're an admin and all you noticed was the new intro? You fuck. We had that intro like the last 2 episodes.
But as always, we record these live on YouTube, so if you're listening to this after the fact during the week sometime on your ride to work, you can join us at youtube.com/Ghost of the Night, and you can join these live like the wonderful people in the chat, like Gregory, who's on vacation and could not miss us.
Yes.
And Jenny and
it does look
Gonzo
like a fucking
and
green screen.
Joy, and everybody who joins in the chat and talks so sweet nothings into our ears or into our eyeballs because we don't hear them.
Like the video.
Share it. One quick
house cleaning
thing. We've been talking about there's going to be a midweek episode. It's going to be called Wacky Wednesdays.
You're shitting me.
Nope, Wacky Wednesdays.
I'm not doing it.
I'm doing it.
Are we gonna have a fucking clown on in the background?
No, it's wacky headlines. It's for wacky headlines.
Wacky Wednesdays with Phil and Travis, kids.
For wacky headlines, crazy headlines. There's no letter that starts.
What the fuck Wednesdays?
Okay, we can do that. Of course, I have to check. Okay, what the fuck Wednesdays?
I like it.
We'll do that. But Wednesdays, it's going to be at 9 o'clock on Wednesday. Or yeah. No, let's do 8 o'clock. What the hell?
This isn't a green screen.
No, it's not a green screen. It is not.
This is all like real shit. That's why we were so late. I ordered a bunch of shit so we had a better backdrop, and this is like all real shit that's on the wall.
It's legitimately there.
Fucking asshole.
It just with the blue light, it looks like it's a green screen because the glow off my
dick,
wonderful, sexy torso.
Yeah, the blue lights showed up a lot more than I thought they would.
Yes. But like I said, okay, so what the fuck Wednesday will be at Wednesday
is
at 8
o'clock. Is that the remote for the lights?
Yeah.
Give me that right now.
We're gonna play with it?
I'll play with it while you talk about whatever you want. I really don't care. We can do Wacky Wednesdays.
No, what the fuck Wednesdays? So I just have to look and make sure nobody has it. Or it's over there. You point to your left.
So green looks like nothing.
Yeah. Hold on, here, let's... Blue's about here. Blue's the best way to go.
Ooh.
Or here, I'll show you. Let's do this. Hit this.
Don't touch it.
No, I'm going to get the flashing one. Watch.
Oh, fancy.
Hold on, which one is it? I think it's this one. Oh, maybe it's this one.
Are you saying remove the Ouija board because you don't like the Ouija board, or are you saying remove the Ouija board because you don't believe that this isn't a green screen? Give me this.
Go back to blue.
Hey. What does red look like? Oh, red looks like literally nothing.
Could I do this?
Yeah, see? Not a green screen. We can take the letters down, really. I'm not going to because I fucking hate trying to find the little holes to hang them up again.
All right, we are getting started now with the BTK killer. Thanks for everybody joining us. As always, follow us on all the Instagrams, the Twitters, the Facebooks. Oh, that's what I was trying to do. Get the flash.
You can literally only
see the...
It's not a fucking green screen, you dickhead.
All right, we are going to get started now after Travis is done playing with the damn lights.
These are fancy. I like these.
But So look for, like I said, What the Fuck Wednesdays we're going to do 8 o'clock. And it's just going to be like our normal headline show. Travis might not be here all the time because he has to work some strange hours.
And if Thursdays might be my day off for the time being. If it has to be Thursdays, it could always just be the fuck Thursdays.
But I want to keep it one day. And I want to be able to, I have to have time to get it out on the podcast feed before the weekend. That's why I want to do Wednesdays. I want it out on the podcast feed on Friday.
That's fair.
So, and if Travis can't be here, he can call in. What?
It's from fucking like TikTok and Instagram and shit. Their RGB lights. And like there's a sound on Instagram you can use to make reels, and it's like, oh shit, he got them LGBTQ plus lights. It's like fucking RGB, you jackass.
But for Gonzo, there is a green screen. I do have a green screen.
We do have a green screen, but why use a green screen
when we do the real thing?
Creative. Do you know how long it took us?
Thanks for Gonzo. Hold on.
It's crooked.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's even more crooked. God damn it.
Fuck, it's good enough.
Respect our not green screen background. Do you have any idea how long it took for me to lay these bricks?
Yes.
Literally days.
His dick is really sore.
Days. And then I had to paint them and weather them myself.
All right, you ready to get started? Get the notes out. Like I said, Travis is going to be doing this episode. We are so thankful everybody's here listening to us on YouTube.
I gotta drink some out of my giant water jug for a second.
But we are thankful for you guys coming in and joining us on the live stream. We love you guys. You guys are awesome. Sorry, once again.
40 ounces of fucking... It's a 40 ounce to freedom.
Yes.
Thank God we're not monetized. I don't know how the fuck I haven't gotten us an audio strike yet.
That's okay. We don't care. So, Travis, whenever you want, get the ball rolling.
I feel like everything has to be fucking changed now. Like nothing is the same. I like it.
Hope the audio. Hope you didn't fuck the audio up.
I don't think so. How's the audio? Fuck you guys. I'm just kidding. Love you.
BTK killer. Where we at?
No, it's not even paint. We're not breathing in paint fumes. I'm breathing in
we're just
a copious amount of fucking quickcrete because these bricks were not going to lay themselves. There you go. Look at that. There's a shadow on my hand. You don't get a shadow on a green screen.
No,
I don't think
so either.
I don't know. I've never used a fucking green screen.
A lot of my earlier videos are green screen.
All right. So tonight, everybody shut the fuck up. Tonight, we're talking about Dennis Rader, also known as BTK, the BTK killer, the BTK strangler, a real piece of shit, a major douche knuckle, just an absolute monster of a twat bag. Everybody hates him. I hope his asshole falls out. He's still alive, the fuck.
And he was ugly.
He looks like the guy that you would ask for a pencil like on your first day in the office, like if he had just explosive diarrhea and like hadn't showered in a couple days sometimes, and then sometimes he looks pretty normal. He looks pretty like he just looks like a suburban dad,
a dorky suburban,
but he is still alive.
Yes, he is.
And he's also a complete fucking narcissist. Because you have to fill out a questionnaire from him so he can decide if you are worth him corresponding with or doing an interview with.
He can eat a big sack of dicks.
And he's in solitary confinement. Is that same fucking truck?
The truck. Get a new alternator belt. Jesus, buddy.
My belt doesn't even sound that bad. All right, so here we go. Dennis Lynn Rader was born on March 9th, 1945 to parents Dorothea May Rader and William Elvin Rader. He was one of 4 sons, the eldest of 4 sons, to this couple of... I'm sure they were fucking okay people. They definitely weren't as bad as their son. His brothers' names were Paul, Bill, and Jeff. Not that that fucking matters. His dad was a Marine. Doesn't really matter. Rader was born in Pittsburgh, Kansas. And then I saw... It's very close to where Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri meet. And I also saw in some places that they say his birthplace was Columbus, Kansas, which I don't think it fucking matters. all I can say is Kansas apparently is the least fucking creative state.
That's what I was.
I'm from Columbus, Kansas. Really? I'm from Pittsburgh, Kansas. No shit. I'm from Thailand, Kansas. Yeah, I'm from fucking Puerto Rico, Kansas. I'm from Willy Wonka's fucking chocolate factory, goddamn Kansas. Get your shit together. They won today, though. Jayhawks.
Come up with your own damn names, Kansas.
Oh, shit.
Of course, nobody else wanted.
Fucking St. Peter's win?
I have not. I was busy all day.
They played North Carolina at like 5-something. They're like the 15th or 16th seed. They're like the dark horse of the tournament. They beat Purdue. Yeah, they fucked up. Apparently, while we're on the subject, sidebar, after the second round, there was not a single perfect bracket on ESPN, and there's over 17 million brackets done on ESPN's website.
Fucking St. Peter's fucked it up for everybody.
They said they did the math on it. They said that it was like a 1 in 120.1 billion chance, 1 in 120 point something billion chance of somebody having a perfect bracket after some of the losses and wins. They lost. Damn, I was hoping they'd win. I like the underdog story.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the Peacocks. Go figure. St. Peter's Peacocks.
I used to, when I was back in the day.
The Catholic school's named after cocks.
You know,
it has a bunch of young boys on their basketball team.
You were too young, but when I was in high school, those white college hats, white, kind of like this hat, but it had universities on it. Everybody I knew had a Gamecocks hat.
Yeah.
Because it said Cox on it.
Or,
South Carolina. Cox.
What was it? Franklin University, because it said FU. I think it was Franklin. It might have been Frampton. Anyway, that sucks. I was really hoping they'd fucking go all the way just to fucking piss a bunch of people off. So back to Dennis Rader and Kansas not being creative enough to make their own city names up. So most of Dennis's younger years with his family were spent living in Wichita after the family moved there when he was very young. I didn't see an exact age on that. There probably is one. Fuck off. And as a kid, he spent a lot of his time in the Boy Scouts and participating in church youth group activities.
Case closed. He was in the Boy Scouts. Of course you're either a serial killer or serial rapist. One of the two. And
he wasn't part of the Catholic Church. If he was, it's a twofer. That's like a twofer. The current day, you mean? So he also, while he was attending the Riverview Elementary School, where he was an average student and he was really quiet, and they said he was withdrawn, like he didn't really interact that much with his peers and shit like that. But by his elementary school years, he admits that he had already started to develop fantasies of bondage and torture, which escalated into fantasies of tying up girls and having his way with them. And he specifically often fantasized about these bondage fantasies involving Annette Funicello, who was one of the more popular Mouseketeers on the original Mickey Mouse Club from 1955 to 1959.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've seen her in a few things.
I think she was very attractive.
Black hair,
dark hair. I saw black and white.
I think she did a few movies with Elvis too. I think
she did.
Yeah,
I don't remember which ones, but she was a very attractive woman.
Yes.
So, again, he was described as being really quiet but polite. And he was also someone who preferred to keep to himself and was had a very astute personality, if you will. So like he listened really intently when other people spoke to him, which, don't you want all your fucking kids to be like that? Let's see how it turns out. That being said, he didn't really show any normal interest in normal shit like music, stuff like that, and most things that a normal adolescent involves himself with, either in their social life or their personal life.
Did he jack off a lot? I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes.
If he didn't back then, we'll get to it. He did later. So actually, a former friend of Dennis Rader's said that he lacked any real sense of humor, but he was very focused and studious. Sidebar, little add-on. It was said that his parents worked a lot and didn't pay very much attention to their sons, particularly him, which led to a resentment of his mother, which is that's pretty common in these stories.
a mother resentment of an abusive father,
or a parental resentment of some sort. So and then as all this is going on and he's growing up, you know, being a normal weirdo, he actually did a really good job of covering up his crazy sexual fantasies, and he, starting at a young age, committed multiple acts of zoosadism, which in his potential Jesus fuck me in the fuck in his particular situation was hanging cats in a barn. So normal kid stuff, you know.
Huh.
I mean, people think it's crazy when you like pop the heads off your sister's Barbies, but this motherfucker's going out and like taking, I don't even remember his name, the fucking cat from Oliver and Company, the kids movie that Billy Joel did the album for. Why should I worry? Why should I care? Yeah. Oh, don't piss off Billy Joel, that dickhead. Which immediately made me think of the Netflix show Don't Fuck with Cats about Luca Magnotta.
Never seen it.
Really? You should watch it. That motherfucker was nuts. Luca Magnotta, he was fucking batshit crazy.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't just kill cats. He spirals, and it's literally just because he feels like he deserves to be famous.
Well, don't we all deserve to be famous?
No, like he had a like fucking plastic surgery. Would talk about how like you got to watch the show. Luca Magnotta, I can't remember his real name. He was a fucking psycho. Interesting show, but fucking holy ball sack dick fuck. So let's jump back into the news. So Dennis graduated from Wichita State High School in 1963 and started working at a grocery store until 1965 when he moved to Salina to attend Kansas Wesleyan College, where he was a below average student with bad grades. What is this sidebar? Oh yeah, so after a year at Kansas Wesleyan University with average to poor grades, he dropped out of school and enlisted in the U.S. Air Force, and that's where he served from 1966 to 1970. He excuse me, he did his basic training at Lockland Air Force Base in San Antonio and technical training at Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls, Texas.
Sweet.
We just can't get away from reusing fucking city names and shit here.
Well, they're the only one with Wichita. Nobody else.
Wichita Falls, Texas.
Oh, really?
That's what I just said.
I'm having some audio issues.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are we going to Singapore, Oregon next?
Well, there's only one Cincinnati, isn't there?
Are we gonna go to fucking Guam, Illinois?
Ooh.
Right. Guamanois.
I guess.
As a silent. So, and then over the course of his military career, Dennis was stationed in Alabama. It just said the Pacific. That's a pretty fucking broad.
The Pacific.
Just the Pacific. This whole fucking region that involves like over 80 countries and like 3,000 islands. He was there in this whole region of the globe. And Japan, where he was apparently stationed for the remainder of his military career from 1968 to 1970.
Okay.
So there's that. He also spent time in Korea, Greece, and Turkey, and over the course of his military career. And over the... God, this show's going... It's like we get a fancy new not fucking green screen background, and it's just going to shit.
It's all right.
So, when he left the Air Force, he was awarded by the time he left the Air Force, he was awarded the Air Force Good Conduct Medal, good call, the Small Arms Expert Marksmanship Ribbon, and the National Defense Service Medal. Good for you, dick fuck. When he was in the military, he spent most of his time installing antenna equipment and other random dumb shit, and eventually reached the rank of, I have Staff Sergeant here. I saw a couple other ranks. I think somewhere I saw Master Sergeant, which I don't fucking believe that for a second. So take that for what you will. Another man who actually served with him said that Dennis was just a normal guy who just kind of blended into the crowd, which, when we get into the depravity of what this dude gets into, knowing that about him, that's fucking terrifying. Like, you can be outwardly nuts and be like fucking like spray painting your dick while you're like shooting bottle rockets out your asshole and reading scripture at the top of your lungs out of a fucking bullhorn. That's fine. I can see that. I can go, I'm not going to talk to him. Or I might be like, I want to fucking party with that guy. But when you got somebody that does what this guy ends up doing, and nobody would ever guess it, well, that's a good serial killer.
That's life.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a bar, the one fucker you don't mess with is a guy minding his own business, not saying a fucking word.
Yeah, that's
the motherfucker running his mouth, who gives a fuck? Right. He's not really 99%, 90% of the time. He's not the one you have to worry about.
Right.
Same thing with serial killers. It's the guys that just blend in, nobody thinks twice about.
Yeah, it just depends. You can tell in a bar by the facial expression of the people around him.
Right.
If it's if you have to worry about it, it's oh shit. And if it's not, it's oh shit.
Right. So I mean, but that's just life. That's just life.
Yeah. So after the military, Dennis returned to Wichita in 1970. Even though he did still have to serve 2 years in the reserves after he came home.
Yeah.
And eventually he settled in Park City, which is a suburb of Wichita. In Park City, Dennis got a job in the meat department of an IGA supermarket where his mom was a bookkeeper. Fast forward to May 22nd, 1971. Dennis married Paula Dietz, who had gone to the same school as him. I don't know. I don't think it's like a high school sweetheart kind of thing. I just think
he wasn't tapping it in high school.
I don't think Wichita's a huge city, is it? Is there huge cities in Kansas?
Yeah.
Like anything over a couple
I would say it's
people?
I don't think it's Cincinnati, Columbus, or Cleveland size, but
probably
Dayton.
Size.
Maybe no, probably close to a Dayton if I had to guess.
Fucking shit now too.
I mean, I could, if you want, I could Google the population.
I don't think I'll ever go there. So anyway, Dennis and Paula had 2 children, Carrie and Brian, which Carrie actually ended up like she put out a book and stuff like that not that long ago. So during this time, Dennis Rader attended Butler County Community College in El Dorado and earned an associate's degree in electronics in 1973. After earning that associate's degree from Butler County Community College, he enrolled at Wichita State University, from which he graduated in 1979 with a Bachelor of Science, and he majored in the administration of justice. Come in handy down the road. I don't know. He didn't have much of a chance to administer shit down the road. Well, as far as justice in the justice system. More on that later. Spoiler alert. This just in. Fuck you. So after he left IGA, Dennis worked as an assembler for the Coleman Company. Yes, the Coleman that you're thinking of, the camping.
Camping?
Yes, that company. Was the first thing I thought of. So, torches,
coolers,
propane-powered butt plugs, see-through tents with sex swings.
Sweet. My kind of camping.
I saw a fucking meme the other day, and some tradesman was working in somebody's house, and they went to do some electrical shit, and they popped one of the smoke detectors off.
Mm-hmm. Camera?
No.
What?
They gutted it, and there was a sex swing anchor inside of that. I was like, that's fucking genius.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Get your freak on, baby.
Yeah. So he worked for the Coleman Company as an assembler, and then he started at Wichita, working at the Wichita office of the ADT Security Services from 1974 to 1988, where he worked installing security systems as a part of his job. He actually installed a lot of security systems for people who were concerned about the BTK killings. Yeah. He played some pretty good checkers, if you will. He knew where to move, chess. He knew where to move his pawns and rooks.
He wasn't fucking around. He knew what he was doing.
The butthole. I can't get through this without fucking butthole jokes. I can't help it. So, and I'm not, just to clarify here, I'm not there's legal stuff that will come up that is in between all this. I'm just kind of going over his personal life outside of what he did. Let's get to know the man before we get to know the monster.
You're setting the foundation.
Yeah. So, because this one, it fucking worked out real well. It was a really good job to give a person like this. He also was a census field operations supervisor for the Wichita area in 1989. So, yeah, he got to go around. He just got to walk around door to door. And it was okay because he was taking census stuff. I don't know. I think I may have talked to a census person once in my life.
I can only think of maybe one time.
I remember being around when my mom talked to one, which they literally like can just stand there on your front porch with your door wide open and ask you questions. Like, it's the perfect fucking job for a serial killer. So after this, he became a dog catcher and compliance officer for the city of Park City in May of 1991. Yeah.
Those dog catchers.
Well, because, I mean, really all his jobs had to do with the people watching to an extent, or he had this thing with fucking power. He had to hold power over somebody. And that's just how he was. He enjoyed all that shit. He got off on it because a lot of the people in the office, in the offices that he worked in, said that he was just a fucking nightmare to work with.
He was an asshole.
Yeah, he's just a fucking prick, which we'll get into now. They said that he was overzealous and super strict, and say that he took great pleasure in bullying and harassing single women.
Boy, he would not fit in today's society.
One woman alleged that Rader killed her dog. Yeah.
Bastard. It's all fun and games till you kill a dog.
Yeah. See, I have two sides of this, or possibly two different stories. So, this is possibly the same story. A neighbor said that she saw Rader fucking with her neighbor and his dog, and when Rader tried to mace the dog, the wind blew the pepper spray back in his face, and after failing to pull his tranquilizer gun, he pulled his actual firearm and shot the dog. So basically, you picked a fight that you couldn't win, and then you got your ass beat by your own self-defense mechanism, and then you shot a dog for it. I think he just got embarrassed.
Probably.
But, well, there's another story about someone who would have been one of his future potential victims.
Yeah.
And he basically would stalk all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, every day of his life he spent following somebody.
Well, he's thorough.
To kind of be like, what about that one?
Well, you got to scout out your targets.
Well, this lady, he found out she had a boyfriend, and I think she lived with him, but he didn't like that. And, yeah. He kept writing her fucking citations for like the grass being too long or leaving the hose in the yard and shit like that. But
it was really because she was living in sin.
Well, and apparently he even told her if she breaks up with her boyfriend, he'll stop. And she was like, no, fuck you. And apparently he had their dog seized somehow and put down, and they just moved out of the area.
What a fuck knuckle.
Right?
God, he's an asshole.
Like, man, you just must be rolling in the pussy.
Obviously, I hate to jump ahead real quick. Kansas doesn't have the chair, do they? Or the lethal injection?
They did not have the death penalty, at least at the time of his conviction.
Okay. There has to be a reason this fuck nut's still alive. I know we jumped ahead. Spoiler alert. My bad.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Serial killer, we know that.
I apologize for my water drinking. It takes it really dries you out sitting here and just talking.
Yeah, you're driving me out too.
Now you know how all the ladies feel.
I've been told many times.
For both of us. They're
the Sahara Desert after they spend some time with me.
It's like when Hugh Hefner would ejaculate, just powder. So Rader was also a part of the Christ Lutheran Church and was elected president of the church council, along with being a Cub Scout leader. Shocker.
Those fucking Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts.
Yeah. So now we're going to start to, again, I don't know why I have that in there. Fantasies of bondage and torture at a young age. Remember that, because here we're going to start ramping up a little bit. So, he admitted, once again, he admits to hanging cats in barns in his younger years. Why barns? because I don't think he grew up on a farm as far as I know. Why hang them? At least Richard Kuklinski like hung 2 of them by like their tails to watch them fight.
So didn't it film over a telephone
Clothes wire.
Okay, yeah.
But like at least there was activity there. Like you're just gonna sit there and be like, while this cat's just flailing around, like.
Well, he's not as creative as the Iceman, but that's okay.
I guess it's just, like,
that's the difference between
all things. Like you're not gonna like blow them up or like set them on fire. You're just gonna hang them.
The Iceman,
but I guess it does correlate with the whole bondage thing.
Yes, but the Iceman was professional. This guy was not. Even though I will say he got away with it for a while, but we're gonna get to that.
That's definitely gonna show up on the fucking audio. That was my water bottle closing itself. Yeah, that's right. Fat people drink a lot of water too. He also talked about the fact that when he was a boy, he would actually find himself becoming aroused when his mother would spank him.
Well, who didn't get aroused? That was a joke. I'm kidding, Mother, if you're watching.
I hope she's watching right now. I hope you get a shitty text message. God damn it, William.
I don't like to be spanked.
William J. Weinstein.
I'm not big into pain during sex.
The only time I like pain in regards to sexual activity or genitalia is when I pee and it's like razor blades.
Well, you know, you need some antibiotics. There's a shot for that shit.
Yeah.
Watch what you're dicking down and you wouldn't have that problem.
I don't have that problem anyway. I'm a monogamous man.
Yes, you are.
And plus, as we all know, I'm saving myself for marriage. I have my whole life. God told me to.
Yeah, God is going to strike you down. I hope he doesn't take me.
Jesus loves me.
I hope I'm not
this
going.
I know.
I'm not going down with the boat.
For the Bible tells me so. All right, so as he, grew older, out of high school, out of college, had some kids, he started kicking around the idea of actually abducting and murdering someone in 1965, and actually went out looking for a victim. But he never went through with any of it, with these attempts or thoughts at that time.
But isn't that kind of common with most serial killers?
They always have a ramp up.
Yeah, they always.
I don't even want to say a ramp up. Like a plant starts as a seed, and then it grows.
It takes a while for them to ponder and build up the.
Yeah, it's just like Dahmer. Dahmer had that whole thing with that jogger,
right?
Where he wanted to kill him, but he didn't. He just knocked him out and laid next to his body.
Didn't when he, if I remember right, wasn't that the story where the guy? No, the first one. I thought the jogger wasn't. The jogger didn't he? When he finally got the nerve to do it, the jogger didn't show up.
Yeah, the jogger didn't. Yep. Yeah.
That fucker got his wife bitching at him about cleaning the garage or whatever. Right. Saved his fucking life.
And he's like, "I'm trying to be less fat, so you'll love me more."
That never works. Trust me.
Yeah, clearly, I've never tried.
I've tried and it hasn't got me shit.
Right. I'm bloated as shit. I had Skyline last night. It was so good.
I've had Skyline forever.
Oh, so good. Okay, back to the important stuff. So Skyline, so he also started to break into houses somewhat frequently, basically so he could just steal women's underwear.
Here's the $1 million question: clean or dirty?
I don't know. I know he would wear them.
Why?
Because he would take pictures of himself in like bondage form.
Because I'm just saying, if there's nothing worse than dirty female underwear or male female or male underwear, nothing worse.
Thank you. It's not a fucking green screen.
Thanks, Chad. Digging the background too. Our hard work.
Kind of look like we're on a green screen.
Well, it's because of the blue lights behind us and it's showing off my back. Kind of looks like a green screen.
Oh no, the camera. We
got it figured out. I think
we do. My dick is hard. It has nothing to do with this. It's mostly this.
I have that effect on most people.
So while he was in the Air Force, we're going back a little bit. Like I said, we jumped ahead earlier to try to lay down the blueprint of Dennis Rader as in his private life. And now we're going back and we're gonna back up through there.
Back that ass up, baby.
So while he was in the Air Force, he frequently solicited local sex workers and would try to get them to indulge his bondage fetishes, but they all had a point that was too far for them.
Let me ask you a question, though. with most serial killers, there's always some homosexuality. Was any of these did he have an issue with?
Not that I read.
Okay. I mean, I didn't think so from...
There is often... Well, the big one that people talk about is the McDonald triad. I forget the guy's name. It's something McDonald. It's bedwetting.
Ronald?
No, unfortunately. It would have been much easier to take it seriously. It's bedwetting, arson, and basically zoosadism, or torturing, hurting, or killing animals. Those are like 3 very common things in the serial killer realm that are, there's almost always at least one of those things as a factor.
Because I don't know, you are the serial killer expert on this podcast. I know nothing about it really. I have thoughts and ideas, but from everything we've done in the past, there's always seemed to be some kind of frustration based on sexuality.
Yeah, I think
I didn't know if this.
In a lot of it, I do think there is a lot of homoerotic frustration in a lot of serial killers, but I think a lot of it also is just almost borderline. Well, I guess what they would call today like an incel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now we just got to figure out the. I think it's just the desk. I think we should just get a straight desk.
What for?
Oh, not. We have to be like right here, and then if we have to turn, we have to turn, and we're still on camera. But anyway, that's something to chop into later.
We'll work on it. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, like what they would call an incel today, I think would describe a lot of serial killers in the past as well.
Yeah.
Like, because there's an incel murderer that I'd like to cover too. Elliot something. He's a fucking little twat bag.
Well, most of them are twat bags, but
God, it's always, even this guy, like looking at him, like yes, he had a military background and shit, but like even looking at like this
it's
guy,
the
like,
Air
dude,
Force.
This dude runs up in this house. If he ran up in here right now, I would beat the brakes off of that dude.
No disrespect. It's the Air Force.
I'd be like,
that's one step above.
And as soon as he was like on the ground trying to get up, and I saw his panties, I'd be like, I get it now.
I mean,
have a nice night. Get out.
Thank every person in the military for the service, but let's be honest, on the scale of toughness, the Air Force is down on the list compared to the Marines and the Army.
It depends on what job you do in every branch too. You know what I mean? Like there's more badass motherfuckers in every branch. It just depends on what you do.
Let's be honest. The Air Force, you gotta be smarter than fuck.
Yes.
So not always, but the smarter people aren't always the toughest. It's the dumb son bitches that they send in, frontline guys. And not saying all Marines are dumb, but they're crazy.
Yes.
They take the shit.
Yes. Come on, devil dogs.
So you can't be the smartest motherfucker and dive head first, jump in front of a bullet.
Yeah.
So, but
unless it's to save the life of a child.
And 99% of the people wouldn't. But that's a different story. That's a different fucking podcast.
That's because we live in a fucking stupid society full of fucking stupid people. Not everybody, but there's a lot of fucking selfish pricks out there. Anyway, I digress. So, again, obviously, most of these sex workers would not indulge his bondage fetishes because, I'm already a sex worker, a career in which a lot of people disappear and get hurt and killed. Maybe I should let this guy tie me to the bed while he does it. That's a great idea. No, they're not going to fucking fall for that dipshit.
They're smart. They're street smart.
Exactly. And then the ones that would only go so far.
Yes.
Obviously. Like, there's a line, especially when you want to survive discreets, as they say.
I agree.
Mean, you can't always go hard in the motherfucking paint.
You can, but it doesn't pan well.
I don't know. I'm just going to start throwing out hip-hop references. These bitches love Sosa. Party like a rock star. It's a hip-hop, the hop into the hip-hop of the dop rock.
You just fucked that all up.
Hip-hop, a hippie to the hip-hop, and he don't stop a rockin' to the bang, to the bang. We can say up, jump, the
okay,
rhythm.
Copyright strike.
I'm pretty sure Sugar Hill Gang's all dead, and I'm pretty sure that they don't even get money off that because they stole like 4 fucking samples for it. So we don't even owe them money. We owe some other fucking dead guy money.
Hey, I was around and I'm alive, so
You were like 46 when that came out, weren't
Fuck
you?
you twice. Continue. There's going to be a murder on this podcast.
So, we jump ahead a little bit more. Dennis was laid off from his job, and he was depressed, quote unquote. Okay. He started lurking around town and stumbled upon Julie Otero. And mind you, around this time is when he started carrying his because again, we're hearkening back to these it's almost preconceived, if you will. Like, he already had all these ideas in his head for years. He just didn't do them yet. So he was carrying his kill kit, which was like a gun or two, some knives, and like cords and shit like that to tie people up with. He had one of them on him regularly. Yeah,
well prepared. That's the Boy Scouts. Always be prepared.
Not like Ted Bundy did that. Fucking Israel Keys actually had kill kits stashed in different states and shit.
That's a little bit to the extreme.
Israel Keys is a fucking interesting one. We're definitely going to do that. So that's when he stumbled upon Julie Otero taking her kids to school, and he apparently liked the dark hair and the skin complexion of a Latina woman.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, right? J-Lo. I'm still Jenny from your cock. So after he followed her and her family, he decided that Julie and her daughter Josie were the perfect people to be his first victims. Here we go. So on January 15th, 1974, Dennis Rader hid in the backyard of the Otero home, waiting for Julie and Josie to return home. And while he waited, he cut the phone lines to the home. What? That goddamn moth.
Damn moth on our
Chupacabra. Get him. She's asleep. So he's again hid in the backyard, cut the phone lines, because like I said, by this time he's an ADT guy. He knows all this stuff. Home secured by ADT. So he was wearing his Air Force parka, in which he had his kill kit that normally consisted of a gun or two guns, a knife or several knives, bindings, and tools so that he could make entry into people's homes. So he was ready. He was actually ready. There's a lot of fucking shitty timing in his story. So he was actually ready to leave and abandon this plan because he was waiting for them when 9-year-old Joey Otero opened the back door to let the dog out. Now, when this happened, he approached and made entry into the home to find the family being Joe Otero Sr., Joey Otero, Josephine, and Julia. Yes, Julia. All there, which he was not expecting.
Right.
He thought it was just going to be Julia and Josephine. He didn't know the dad or the son were going to be there.
And okay.
Yeah. So
I'm aware of this.
Well, he walked in and found 4 people in the kitchen making sandwiches instead of just the 2 women.
Right.
Well, the one woman and the one young girl.
Right.
Never even got a chance to be a woman. So since he didn't anticipate that father and the son to be there, he told the Otero family that he was on the run and wanted in California, and that he just wanted food, water, money, and their car. And this was his attempt to kind of calm the whole situation down and get him to chill the fuck out a little bit.
Right.
Which I don't know if I would chill out at that point. I'd still be like, "You're in my fucking house, dick knob. Like, what the fuck?
Well, chill out. Put
What
the
do you want,
fucking
food?
gun
You want
away.
a PB&J? I'll give you a PB&J and a bottle of Dasani, and then get the fuck out. You can't have my car. You cannot have the Skylark. I worked hard for that car.
Yeah.
4 on floor, boy." So stupid. So he led the family at gunpoint, of course, because he was a little bitch, into a bedroom, telling them that they wouldn't be hurt if they cooperated. When does that ever fucking work for somebody?
If anybody says that to you, holding you at gunpoint,
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die. It's called.
I feel like you're better off if somebody kicks the door and is like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you and skull fuck you." Like, I feel like you have a better chance of getting out of that.
Well, if they gave me those options, I'll say I'll take death.
Only if you skull fuck me first.
Okay.
There's actually a whole different word for that. I forget what it is, but like fellatio is.
Well, thanks for bringing it up then.
The performance of oral sex on a male, and then cunnilingus is on a woman. Apparently, forceful fellatio has its own term. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah, rape.
No. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, you know, it just depends on the situation, I guess. But
means no, Travis.
But there is mouth fucking, if you will, has its own scientific term or vocabulary term, I guess. I don't know how scientific that is.
Huh? We'll have to Google that.
Yeah.
Welcome to GITN Health Class, Sex Education 101.
This is what fucking genital warts looks like. Only the people watching this will think that's funny, and even they'll be like, "That was fucking stupid. Sit down, fatty." Nobody's trying to see you sift through your rolls to try to find that sad little pud. So again, gunpoint to the bedroom, won't die, cooperate. So what does he do? You're gonna live if you cooperate. So what does he do? He instantly, once he gets them to the room, he starts to tie them up and then puts a plastic bag over Joe Sr.'s head and tied it off with a cord.
Okay, that makes
that. Yeah, you're gonna survive if you cooperate. So Jesus Christ, it's so it ramps up so fast. So, little sidebar: Joe Otero Sr. was a former military man, but he had been in a car accident, which is why why he was home, B, why he didn't really have much of a fight to put up against Rader. So because if you've ever seen him, and if you haven't, look him up, he kind of looks like a little nerdy fuckboy, which is nothing wrong with being nerdy. I'm fucking nerdy. Phil's nerdy. We have our own things. We both are. It just depends on what you want to talk about. I'm nerdy with shit like this and like archaeology, whereas if you're like you're like, I believe in ghosts. Phil gets that fucking that tube of lipstick, that little fucking pink Christmas light like a dog, which I still want to know if Bigfoot has a fucking
innie or an outie.
I want to know
a
if
red
he's got
rocket.
a fucking, yes, I want to know if he's got a dog dick, or if like don't chimpanzees and shit, aren't they kind of the same way?
I don't know. You're the animal guy.
I don't know. I know they have huge balls.
I have no idea. I have not spent that much time thinking about Bigfoot's genitalia.
Yes, you have. Don't fucking lie to us. This is a safe place. We're in a safe place here with our not green screen background.
It's not.
We literally were like,
I mean, I literally took a picture off the wall.
over 2.5 hours late putting this together, and it's not even done yet.
No.
We still got pieces coming. So Dennis went to strangle Julia.
Now, is Julia the mom
Julia's
or
the mother?
Okay.
Josie or Josephine is the daughter.
Okay.
So then, while he was doing this, Joe Sr. was actually able to chew through the bag that was over his head. And, yes, good man. Fight for your right to not die horribly while your wife's getting strangled. And Dennis noticed this after strangling Julia, sorry. Apologies. He was strangling her. She went unconscious. He thought she killed her. He had not yet. Because we all know how it works. You pass out before you die.
Right.
So when he realized that Joe had chewed through the plastic bag, he put a shirt over his head with another plastic bag and again tied it off, which effectively suffocated and killed Joe Sr.
You know, this is he wasn't expecting. Well, we haven't really told him what BTK actually stands for yet, have you?
Oh, bind, torture, kill.
Bind, torture, kill, which is his modus operandi.
That's a chosen nickname.
Right. He chose.
He even had like a little logo that was like a bullshit ripoff of the Zodiac.
Right.
Kinda, but the B looked like titties.
Right. But there was no.
Kind of looked like the old Acolytes thing. Like how, remember the Acolytes and like how the Taker had that logo? It kind of looked like that.
Yeah. But there was no, you would think there's always a sexual component to these murders. Mm-hmm. And we haven't really talked about, and there's not a lot of, for him, future murders there is some sexual components, but you would think.
Well, there is to this one too.
Oh,
unfortunately.
Okay. But you think he'd make what was his name? Joseph?
Joe Otero Sr.
Yeah. Watch. You would think, but of course, him not expecting him to be there.
Voyeurism wasn't really in his MO, though.
All right, but you know, but the whole torture thing, there is nothing more torturous for any man or any woman, I should say. But in this scenario,
unless you're a cuck.
True, but
that's
I know
a real thing.
If you want to torture me, it would be doing this and making me watch, killing me last. That would be true torture for me.
Mine would be like taking me to one of those restaurants that only serve salad.
Yes, whatever. We're going to move these fucking bottles. They're annoying.
Which one is it?
I don't know.
It's this one.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
All right. There you go. Yeah, he's famous as shit. It's because like it's fucked.
Yeah, but you know, that's just my whole weird thing. Of course, like I said, he wasn't expecting Joseph to be there, so it kind of threw him off a little bit. But I would think that would.
God, it really does look like a green screen.
It does, I know, but I will not take another picture off.
I'm sure shit not taking any of the letters or the on-air sign off because them motherfuckers.
Well, we have to turn them off.
Yeah, afterwards, but I'm not doing it in the middle of a fucking show because then one of us is going to have to sit there like a jackass and try to take it down. So anyway.
Actually, it wouldn't look like a green screen if we turned the lights off, the blue lights off.
You think?
Because if you look at my shoulders, see how this blue's hitting my black off my black shoulders? That's what really makes it look like a green screen. Anyway, sorry for the audio listeners for this, but that's okay.
I think we should just wear black morph suits now. So we just blend into the background.
No, I think we should actually get a green screen and then wear green suits just for our head be like floating heads.
Literally like take a picture of the shit that we've put together back here and green screen it so that we don't even need all the stuff that we put the work to hang.
No, see, then we're going to run into other issues. Let's
virtual reality.
Yes. Are we even really here? Maybe we're green screen and the background's real.
This is all just a simulation. So after he redid Joseph Sr. and he died, then he returned and strangled Julia again and actually killed her this time. He then took 9-year-old... there should have been a bit of a content warning on this one. It's not... It's pretty fucked. There's worse ones out there. So then he took 9-year-old Joey into another bedroom, put him on his bed, and put a plastic bag over his head. And he was already tied up. Put the plastic bag over his head. He then went and got a chair so that he could sit and watch Joey struggle to breathe until he suffocated and died.
Sick fuck.
That's a whole like. Murderers are murderers, killers are killers, rapists are rapists. Like they're all fucked. But like it's a whole different thing in my mind to think about like sitting, like the fact that you would want to sit and watch a 9-year-old kid struggle to breathe until they're dead.
You know, I'm going to say this and I don't mean it to sound
that is sadism to its most extreme form.
I don't want it to sound, I know it's going to sound bad, but if you have to kill a child, you should never kill a child. That is, you know, I mean,
make it quick.
I can understand.
Again, I'm not fucking like saying it's okay to kill kids in any means, but if you're going to, at least fucking
make it quick. Yeah, there's no suffering, you know, in this scenario. I mean, it's fucked no matter what, but don't make the kid suffer. That's why he should have every one of his pubic hairs pulled out individually and then super glued back on and keep pulling them off.
That's not even enough for this guy. He should get like, I don't know. He should
jumper cables to the fucking balls.
He should get like a fucking like 18-inch wide dildo covered in icy hot shoved up his asshole.
Ooh,
while like a Bic pen covered in icy hot gets shoved up his urethra.
Ooh, fuck that.
And
shit.
And then like Bam Bam Bigelow takes a spicy Taco Bell shit in his mouth.
I just lost 3 inches that I couldn't afford to lose.
So what you're saying is now it's coming out your butthole?
Yep.
So again, that Joey thing was fucked. So after Joey was dead, Dennis strangled Josephine unconscious, the 11-year-old daughter. And then when she woke up, he then took her to the basement and told her, she asked what he was going to do to her, and, wanted, leave me alone, all the normal stuff a fucking 11-year-old kid would say after you killed her family.
Yeah.
And he told her that she was going to go to heaven with the rest of her family. So then he goes downstairs, he hangs her from a pipe, like actually hangs her from a pipe, masturbated to that whole scene, which actually left semen on the pipe itself that went into the ground. Because she was partially nude, and I believe her underwear was pulled down to like the bottom of her thighs. He didn't sexually assault her. Well, he didn't rape her or anything like that. But apparently he did masturbate to this 11-year-old girl that he hung.
The visual of...
Yes, who was tied up. Like, he's a real fucking sack of shit. Like, right. I don't know why this man is still alive. Like... Right.
Makes you question
and
God.
If you're gonna keep him alive, put him in he's in fucking solitary. Put him in Gen Pop and let them like do what they do in prison. Like I know a lot of people disagree with it. Like, somebody like this fucking deserves it. He deserves anything that anybody in prison would do.
The law of the jungle will work itself out.
Yes, because I bet you those dudes wouldn't just kill him off rip.
No, they'd
beat the shit out of him.
Sodomy going on.
Probably. And and he would have it fucking coming. After this type of shit.
No, they would be the one coming. See what I did there?
Actually, I wouldn't. If I was them, I'd be like, no, you just deal with it. You do not satisfy me. So, before he left, he stole a watch and a small radio. I think it was a mixture of... Because he stole panties pretty much all the time. So I think the panties were his souvenir, and I think this was just these things I think were just a part of the ruse of getting it to appear to be a theft and a home invasion.
Oh, okay.
So he also stole their family vehicle, and he drove it to a Dillard's, parked it, and threw the keys onto the roof of the store. I'm not sure why. That seems to come up multiple times. He fucking throws the keys on top of the roof of multiple places of stolen cars. I don't know why. It's not like they can't be retrieved again. It's like what? Either it's like, no, you gotta go find him, or like, what are you trying? Is that you being a good person? You're like, I raped didn't rape, but I killed you horribly, and in a way sexually assaulted you, but I'm not gonna have some psycho piece of shit stealing your car after I'm done with it.
Looking out.
Fucking dickhead. She's really trying to get your attention.
We got a lot of new listeners or new viewers tonight, it looks like.
Jade Coco's been in here
before. Has Jade been on here before? Well, hello, Jade. Thanks for joining us again.
She's filling you with fucking...
Because she thinks I'm funny, or he. I'm assuming it's a female. I'm sorry if I'm misgendering you.
Yeah, before we get into that conversation, he walked to his car from the Dillard's parking lot, and he actually went back to the Otero home, parked his car in the garage, and had to retrieve his knife from the backyard, and then he left again. So he's a ballsy motherfucker on top of all this crazy shit.
I'll give him credit.
Yeah. Sorry. So, and then it actually gets a little more fucked up. So after this, a little while after this, Charlie, Daniel, and Carmen, the Otero's older children, came home from school.
I've seen a documentary of this a while ago, yes.
And they found their family dead when they came home from school. And Charlie and Daniel actually thought their parents were playing a bad joke.
Yeah.
And Charlie didn't... This is even... And we go on further. He thought they were playing a bad joke. And like he ran into a neighbor's and called the cops because the phone line was cut. And like he kept telling the cops, because his whole thing was he would wait for his brothers and sisters, his younger brother and his younger sister, to get off the bus, and he would walk home with them. and he kept telling the cops that they need to find their brother and his brother and sister.
Right.
He didn't know until after he called and after they had been taken to the police department that his brother and sister were also dead. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's a kid. You find your parents dead and realize they're actually dead. You're going to fucking either break down right there or you're going to fucking take off.
Right.
And go to at least the closest neighbors.
Because he was older.
He was like 14, 15, I think. So, which it was all such a hustle bustle situation. You know what I mean? You're not used to a scene like this in most towns. The police actually discovered Josephine after one of the cops was just kind of searching the basement, and it was dark, and he actually was backing up and bumped into something in the basement, and when he turned, that's when he found the dead body of Josephine hanging from
that would suck major ass.
Yeah.
That would make a grown man shit his pants.
Yeah.
Especially
I feel like you would just have to cry.
Especially being a child.
Like, as a human being, if I found that, whether I'm a cop or not, I feel like you would cry. If you didn't cry then, I feel like that's the day where you like go home and like your wife's like, "How was dinner, honey?" And you like just throw fucking Grandma Sue's vase across the room, and she's like, "Why, Jerry?" And you're like, "I just can't fucking do it anymore, Marjorie. I can't take all the violence. This goddamn forsaken fucking world we live in. Did you burn that goddamn meatloaf? I swear to God, if you burn the meatloaf, I'll kill myself right now."
Can you do that again for me?
I mean, maybe not verbatim.
Okay. No. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
The Oscars are going on right now. I think you should get one.
Really?
Yes, they started at 8. I think you just got one. They might be announcing your name right now. Don't thank God.
I'd like to thank, first and foremost, my Lord and Savior, Jeebus Christmas, and the real D-O-G, G-O-D, S-N-O-O-P-D-O double G-Z, and Elon Musk, and etc. So, let's get back to it. So, April 4th, 1974, Dennis broke through the screen door at the home of 21-year-old Catherine Bright. He had been waiting for her to come home for quite some time. So he broke in armed with his .357 Magnum and a .22.
Hey, he's got both ends of the spectrum, baby.
Right? Gee, like literally, the only way you get any more off the wall than that is a 50 cal, which is the single most like doesn't fucking make sense to carry gun ever made. A 50 cal handgun, the Desert Eagle. Like who the fuck? It's so pointless.
I almost bought one time.
I mean, like, yeah, they're cool.
Oh, they're cool.
You know what I mean? But like to carry, there's no fucking point. Like, what do you do? Are you just encountering like werewolves and Bigfoot? Like,
blow the shit out of it.
Like, do you take your morning walk through a fucking safari without protection? And even then, a 50 is overkill for that.
50 will do some damage, baby.
Could you imagine, like, if you shot a normal animal with a 50 caliber bullet, it would be like when fucking Bert shot the Tremors and it exploded.
We haven't
the elephant gun.
We haven't mentioned Tremors in a while.
I love Tremors too. Oh man. So where was I? So I was looking
GI
totally
Studio.
Wrong part of this, where we have not a green screen. Fucko. I hate you. I hate him so much.
Gonzo.
So he broke in with his .357 and a .22, but was surprised to find Catherine's 19-year-old brother, Kevin, was also there. He told them the same bullshit story about being wanted in California, and he took the two to a bedroom at gunpoint where he made Kevin tie Catherine up and then tied Kevin up to a bed in another room. And from what I understand, I believe he tied Kevin's ankles to the footboard or to the bed frame. Just, you know. But these were some scrappy folks. So Kevin was a little guy too. I think it said like Kevin was like under 5'6" or maybe 5'6" and like under 150 pounds. Like he was a little dude. But he was able to fight free from his restraints twice over the course of this whole thing, because he went back and forth. Obviously went to go strangle the girl because that's what he does. Then he had to go and fucking handle. Both times Dennis shot Kevin in the head. and left him for dead.
Yes.
Survived the first time. Had to go back, shoot him again. So when Dennis went on to strangle Catherine, she also put up a really good fight, preventing him from being able to strangle her to death, which is why he actually stabbed her multiple times, like under the rib cage, around the rib cage, in several places. And he thought he heard something from the other room where he thought that Kevin was dead, to find that Kevin had escaped and had gotten out of the house and run to get help.
Yes.
After being shot in the face twice.
Not once, but twice.
This motherfucker got the expert marksmanship medal or whatever the fuck.
Maybe Kevin was just a bad motherfucker.
He was this big.
He had a hard head.
Clearly, holy fuck.
Well, in fairness to the BTK killer, it was a 22.
See, that's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't he? If he didn't die the first time, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm not agreeing with this situation.
Break out
Didn't die the first time. You've got a fucking 357. You can put down a bear with that fucking thing.
Yes, I've had one. I've had one of those.
Yeah. Kevin the Oompa Loompa ain't coming back from that one.
Just, you know, if you're going to use a 22, kids, if you're going to use a 22, don't shoot in the head. Shoot in the gut. Let it bounce around or what. It could just go in and bounce out. A 22. Not a lot of, basically one step above a cap gun, which I have one.
What, a 22 or a cap gun?
22. I actually have 22 handgun and rifle. I actually have two rifles, I think. I don't know.
One of them an AR. Have you ever seen those 22 ARs?
No.
Yeah, it's a thing. They shoot 22 long.
Huh.
Yeah. I was like, man, those would probably be fun to shoot, like just targeting.
You know, regular AR is, it does, I've shot one. It doesn't have as much kick as you would think.
I know they don't. That's what I'm saying.
It's like
a 22 LR, like with the AR setup, that'd be really fun to go target.
That shot, I was expecting it to be a little bit more.
You could John Wick your way through some targets.
Oh,
with
yeah.
That thing.
Sidebar.
So, because of this, obviously Dennis got a little scared.
As he should.
He cleaned up a little bit and he ran back to the Wichita State University campus where his car was located. Catherine did later die from her injuries, but Kevin survived.
Hey, he's bad.
I'd be interested. I'm not trying to be a dick, but I would love to see a selfie of that guy. It can't look good.
No, I saw a documentary on this.
Did it have Joey Otero in it?
Yes,
because he's like just recently got his life back on track,
and there's going through, I'm sure you're
wrestling a lot of demons.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about. There's another case, down the road, but it showed a picture of what is it, Kevin, right?
Yeah, Kevin Bright
at from the hospital where it showed the holes. I think one.
I guess, I mean, a 22 isn't going to leave like a massive gaping injury.
No, it's barely.
Basically, like taking a nail through your hand.
Well, the thing about 22, it goes and bounces around.
Yeah,
that's why you should know. I mean, it probably just.
It could have been. Yeah, I mean,
I think one he got shot.
Would you rather have that happen, or would you rather get Marv from Home Alone when he stepped on the nail?
Oh fuck! That would get shot in the head.
Oh god, that was gnarly. Like, I'll take the paint cans to the face. I don't know about walking on the Legos and the Matchbox cars. That's basically like.
Actually, the worst for me would be the ice on the stairs.
Oh yeah,
that would be worse. That'd probably kill me.
Or I always wondered who the fuck has one of those big ass torches like you used to burn Danny DeVito's head, or Danny DeVito, Joe Pesci. Do you remember that thing? That was a big fucking torch.
Oh,
like, I was looking at it, I was like, what is your dad, a fucking coal miner in 1914? Nobody has that.
Apparently.
If it was like an acetylene torch or something like that, I would get it, but it wasn't. It was like, I don't even know what the fuck it was.
I don't know.
Right? You got it?
Yeah. It's
good, Squeaky?
It's squeaky.
Does a 10 man need some oil?
Yes, it needs a little bit of oil. I'm getting old, and obviously the mic's getting old too.
Yeah. So, he actually, and Dennis Rader actually went without any suspicion for this crime until after he had been arrested later on. And when he was arrested, the Boy Scout knife that he used to kill Catherine was still in his kitchen pantry.
Kitchen pantry?
Yeah. And mind you, he got arrested, 30 years later?
Yes, something to that effect.
Oh, we're on to the divider. Please hold.
Divider break.
Yeah, I literally have like twice as many pages on this one as I normally do.
And we are going to go long tonight, aren't we?
First time for everything. March 17th, 1977, Dennis convinced 5-year-old Steve Relford, I apologize. I think it's Relford. Unless it's
either way,
weird, like German pronunciation. And he asked, using a picture of his wife and small child, if he had seen them. And after the kid said no, he just kind of followed him.
Mm-hmm.
So he followed the boy back to his house and knocked on the door and told the boy that he was a detective and was allowed into the house by the boy. He closed the blinds, shut off the TV, and that's when he pulled out the old 357, the Tray 57. Walla la lang.
Well, he learned his lesson.
Lang lang. Listen to my 9mm go bang.
Don't pull the 22.
Shout out to KRS-One. Yeah, shot a guy in the face twice. I don't think you're going to make that mistake again.
We're leaving that one at home from now on.
You fucking idiot. You goddamn stupid fucking cocomelon watching piece of fuck. So anyway, this is around the time when Shirley Relford came into the room and flipped the fuck out, as you would if there was a guy with a big fucking hand cannon standing there in the room with your kids. So, then he locked the kids in the bathroom and told Shirley that he wasn't going to hurt the kids. When she asked him what he wanted, he said he was going to rape her. Yeah, he was very straight up with this one.
Hey, being honest.
Which was a lie. That wasn't his intention, really. When she heard that, she threw up. So Dennis gave her a glass of water and let her smoke a cigarette to get her to calm down. See,
very thoughtful.
It is, but I thought about it. I was like, it kind of makes sense, really. Like, you try to an extent, control the situation in that regard, so you have less of a chance of less noise and less of a chance of erratic behavior that you aren't already anticipating.
Yeah, makes sense, honestly.
Yeah.
You want it to go as smoothly as possible.
Yes, unfortunately. So when he got her into the bedroom, he immediately strangled and killed her. Man of his word. Now, he did this by putting a bag over her head and tying it with a pair of pink pantyhose. That was pretty common. You use pantyhose for, I mean, but now I know if the zombie apocalypse happens, I'm stealing a shitload of pantyhose because apparently I'm going to make a bunch of rope and I'm going fucking, like, rappelling down mountain faces.
They're very versatile.
To be like, you can't catch me, zombies. Fuck you.
And if you need to rob a bank, instant disguise.
A zombie bank. Get those Z-Bucks.
Yeah.
So the kids were able to get out of the bathroom. Eventually, I think he was 8-year-old. Her 8-year-old son was able to get out the door, but Dennis was already gone by that time. Because he had left because he got startled because the phone started to ring. Which was actually very lucky because his ultimate fantasy did in fact involve killing all the kids as well. That was his ultimate goal. But they lucked out. Yes, their mother died, but the kids made it out because of that phone going off. Because it was like, oh, well, what if that's a husband or a boyfriend? And they're like, I'm on my way home, honey. It's the 1970s. I got a bucket of KFC and a 2-liter of fucking RC Cola because it's the 70s and a 2-liter will actually last a family of 5 instead of now where it's literally just a fucking drink. Just put a straw in it and give it to me. Stupid.
There's nothing wrong with RC Cola.
It better be. I like RC.
I loved
RC. It's really good mixer.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't
There's something about the flavor of RC. It mixes very well with alcohol.
My grandmother, when I used to spend summers with my grandparents,
yeah,
they were big on the RC, and it's actually pretty good. Of course, this is back, the 40s, of course, when I was
1840s.
Yes, 1740s.
It was like fucking Tab.
I fuck that Tab shit.
It's not good, but like it'll get you through in a pinch.
No, it won't.
Is there any other ones we're missing? Crystal Pepsi.
I never had that.
The clear one. They had the blue Pepsi too.
I remember, but I've never had. There's another one.
Another what?
Another soda like RC that's
I don't know, but sugar-free Dr. K from Kroger tastes, it's like, it has no sugar and it tastes ungodly sweet.
well, I'm sure they lied.
Odd.
They lied. Yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about stuff. So Dennis's proudest murder was that of 25-year-old Nancy Jo Fox, which he called Project Fox Hunt.
Fox Hunt.
Yeah.
I do that every weekend.
Yeah, but he was actually successful. So on December 8th, 1977, Dennis parked his car down the street, knocked on the door, and when nobody answered, he cut the phone lines and broke in and sat in the kitchen to wait for Nancy. He was kind of a ballsy dude, but I mean, he was breaking into houses before he started killing people, just to steal fucking women's underwear. So when Nancy came home, Dennis, who was armed as usual, told her that he was going to have to tie her up for sex due to his quote-unquote sexual problem.
Did he go into any detail? I would say I need some detail on your sexual problem.
I don't know. I don't know if that's in mentioning or like hearkening back to his fetish or what. I don't really know. So she told it. This girl, God bless her, she was kind of a fucking gangster. She told him she wanted to get it over with and asked to use the bathroom, and Dennis told her to come out naked. When she came out, he bound her hands, put her on the bed so he could tie her feet, and then he straddled her, and using his belt, he strangled her to death. But before he killed her, he let up a little bit so that he could hear her gasp for air one last time, and so that he could whisper in her ear and tell her that he was the BTK killer. So then she freaked out a little more because she didn't think maybe he's just choking me and raping me. Now she knows, oh no, he's gonna kill me. So he heard that last gasp for air, got her to panic, and then fucking, what is it? I think he called it throttling. No, that was choking, strangulation by hand, I think. I don't know, but he put the pressure back on and yanked on that belt, and he ultimately caused this young girl's demise. He did not have sexual relations with her, but he did masturbate. Again, that's a pretty common theme here. Then he cleaned up the house a little bit, took some personal items, underwear. There was semen found in her underwear that I think was pulled down, or on her underwear. Which, you know,
he sure shot at it.
Like, he did so. So Dennis actually called the emergency services himself on this one to take credit, not to take credit as himself, but as the BTK killer. He referred to her as his 7th victim, and he said, yes. They said, hello, did you have an emergency? He said, yes, you will find a homicide at 843 South Pershing, Nancy Fox. That's about it. And then they repeated the address, and he just said, correct.
Good job.
And hung up. They traced it back to a phone booth. And you know, it was the 70s, so like they even played this on the news, and he watched it with his wife. But like it was the 70s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Phone quality, and then you mix that in with like putting it on the news and shit. You're not gonna be like, you motherfucker, god damn it, Dennis, not again.
But imagine how hard his dick was when they were talking about it on the news.
Because that's what he wanted.
Right.
He wanted that recognition. He wanted that power. So and then jumping forward, this is more modern, after 2004, I think this was. He actually sent a clue to, I believe he sent this to a, was it Wichita Reporter or something like that? The Wichita Eagle, I think, was the newspaper, something like that. And it was a dark-haired doll with makeup, its arms tied behind its back, with a bag over its head, and next to it was a copy of Nancy's license. Yeah, this is later on when he started to poke at the police and shit again. And I gotta jump down a little bit on this for this poem. He wrote a poem about poor Nancy. It's it's called "Oh Death to Nancy," and this is a quote. "What is this that I can see? Cold icy hands taking hold of me. For death has come, you all can see. Hell has opened its gates to trick me. Oh death, oh death." So stupid. "Can't you spare me over for another year? I'll stuff your jaws till you can't talk. I'll bind your legs till you can't walk. I'll tie your hands till you can't make a stand. And finally, I'll close your eyes so you can't see. I'll bring sexual death unto you for me."
What is he, in 8th grade? And
Right, he legitimately thinks like he's just a fucking savant.
what does he think? He's freaking... I can't think of a poet.
He's fucking William Shakespeare.
Jesus Christ. I wrote better than shit than that, and I am
Bobbert Frost.
I am non-poetic. That is one step above Roses Are Red.
He could put out a book, a poetry collection by the minds of Dr. Noose.
Hey, Moon Unit's here.
Dr. Noose.
Dr. Noose. He'll get canceled too. You cancel Dr. Seuss, you're going to definitely...
I still think that's so fucking stupid. So anyway, now we're back to April 28th, 1979. Anna Williams, 63. She actually dodged the BTK bullet by not coming home on time, and he got tired of waiting for her and left. He actually sent a media outlet later on a package of things that he took from her home, along with another death poem that I don't have.
Thank God. I'd fucking suicide myself if you read another one of his poems.
God, it was like...
I'd hang myself from the G.
I'm trying to think of what to compare it to. It's like that poem that Stewie from Family Guy read about the squiggly line in your eye. He said, "Oh, squiggly line in my eye. What are you? Why won't you let me look? Why do you run when I try to look at you? Squiggly line in my eye." Or even better, like a better fucking thing is that guy with the guitar on the internet. He's a it's all out of tune. He's a "I love you, bitch. I ain't never gonna stop loving you, bitch." That is more poetic than the shit that this guy put in. So there's the end of the poem that was awful. Dennis actually terribly wrote several letters, basically looking for credit and a cool nickname, talking about how he's sorry that this is happening to society, and how much of a sexual pleasure it would have been to get to kill the one woman's kids. Yeah. And he mentions Factor X a lot. Factor X being what's difference between the normal people in society and people like him and Bundy and Zodiac and the Golden State Killer and all that shit. So that's a whole nother fucking level of narcissism, because he's just assuming he's just assuming that he's in this faction of killers because he wants to be, basically. You know what I just thought of? We record these and put them on the fucking RSS feed. When somebody has to pee or take a drink, yeah, like I can just sit here and be like, "Hey guys, Phil's going to get something to drink." Yeah, apparently scratch his nuts. He's a gentleman.
I was pulling it, Travis. I was sitting on it for an hour and a half.
God, I don't know why I'm so bad about that, man. Like, I legitimately have an issue. Like, I sit on my balls way too much. But anyway. Oh, there it is. I do have later on, once we get past the actual murders, for when we get to stuff, I do have some actual stuff I can read of his letters and shit like that. What?
I gotta get a piece of paper.
Phil's got to get a piece. Do you want a piece of mine?
Yeah. I'm just gonna mark it so
Well,
when I edit it out. When I edit out our break.
I've never thought of that.
I've thought about it, but
I'm lazy.
Not saying that I'm going to like utilize the shit out of it. It's just I've never even had the thought.
All right. Proceed. All right, we are back.
Sorry, I know people hate it when you chew ice on camera, but
Yeah.
I didn't mean to get the ice. So where were we? Okay. We're on to Project Cookie. Yeah, he gave a lot of project names to these.
Cookie.
So Project Cookie was Maureen Hedge, 53 years old. She lived on the same block as Dennis Rader for 30 years.
So he knew this woman, saw her frequently.
You would imagine. So on April 27th, 1985, Rader snuck away from a Cub Scout camping trip, parked his car at a bowling alley, and then he apparently like swished beer, I think it was, so that the cab driver would think he had been drinking.
I'll use it like mouthwash.
Yes. So he took a cab ride to the house, cut the phone lines, as is tradition, and quietly entered her home and hid until she arrived home at around 1 a.m. after a night of bingo. Which, that's fun.
I've done it. It's not fun.
It doesn't sound fun. So yeah, anyway. So he hid in the closet until she went to bed, and when he turned on the bathroom light so he could see, she woke up and started screaming. Shocker. And he jumped on her bed and strangled her to death with his bare hands. It's a new one. It's a little more personal, I guess.
Hey.
He stripped her, put her body in the trunk of her car, and he took the car and her body to the Christ Lutheran Church, the church that he was a part of. He covered the windows. He already had some plastic and shit there for covering the windows. I don't know if it was just in case or
Inside the church?
yeah, because none of this shit was like he almost never did anything remotely spontaneous when it came to this stuff.
Well, as any good serial killer should be.
Yeah,
You don't want to.
I mean, yeah, fair. Yes. So, and then after he covered the windows, he tied her body up in sexually graphic bondage positions so that he could photograph her, which he also did to himself.
Yes.
On multiple occasions.
Yes.
Those were some creepy fucking
Yeah, I in that documentary I saw
that mask on.
Yeah.
Oh, those were fucking terrifying. If you guys want to look into this, I'm not big on posting unless it's a picture like a mugshot of the killer. I'm not big on posting any type of evidential stuff as far as teasers or something like that, just because it just doesn't seem right to me. So moving on, he buried Maureen's body in a culvert by the road, which I guess was a very common place to dump dog carcasses. Go Kansas. This is an important little side note. The neighbors in the area actually started to think that the killer hid in the hedges around the houses, so they all removed their hedges except Dennis Rader. I know it's so minuscule, but that just seems just both stupid and ballsy as fuck.
Maybe some red flags should have been going off.
Yeah, like that just seems like that's the type of breadcrumb that I feel like would crack some shit the fuck open. Call me crazy. I would, if you and I were sitting outside smoking a cigarette and that was going on around us, you and I would definitely go, you notice that one guy down the street still has all his hedges?
Yeah.
Weird, right? So now we're on to Project Piano. September 16th, 1986. We have some jump period. He has some cool down and chill out periods here. So to September 19th, 1986, Vicky Wedgerly, I think it's Wedgerly. She was actually playing piano for her 2-year-old son, which is beautiful. When Dennis, disguised as an employee of the telephone company, was let in to work on the home's phone lines. At this time, he pulled his .357 Magnum out and ordered her into the bedroom, telling her he was going to tie her up. Vicky put up a big old fight. Big old fight.
Big old fight.
Big, making fucking lots of noise, breaking shit, fucking clawing at him, all kinds of shit. And I think this might have been the one where she actually started to claw at his genitals, and it actually aroused him more. Yeah. I was like, God damn, you're on a whole nother level. You're on that German dungeon porn shit.
No kidding.
Well, I mean, more power to you if you're into German dungeon porn, as long as it's two consenting adults and everybody's safe and happy. But
no, don't.
Stinky. So
not enough Viagra in the world to get me erect if you're clawing at the nutsack.
Yeah. So this went on, and then I mean, he ultimately strangled her and killed her.
Of course.
And then he threw some souvenirs into his briefcase, grabbed her keys, and left in her car. And he actually drove past Vicky's husband in her car while he was driving away from the scene.
Huh.
Yeah. Could you imagine that? Just being like, man, that looks like Vicky's car. That's crazy. I can't wait to see her. I love her and my child so much. She is the highlight of my life. Hey, honey,
Oh shit.
Right, like, what do you do? Like, I feel like I would just like turn around and walk back out and just be like, you just keep going back and forth forever.
I would be like, oh great. They always blame the husband first.
Right. So, well, actually, there was one, I think this might have been one. There was one where for like 18 years the husband was the #1 suspect. No, that was a different one. That was one that they didn't confirm was him, but they thought might be him, or something like that. There was a whole nother like triple homicide that like they tried to I wouldn't say tried, but brought up like, oh, this could have been BTK, but they don't know. So the murder wasn't attributed to BTK until he took credit in March of 2004. When he sent photos and a copy of her license to a Wichita Eagle reporter with the return address Bill Thomas Kilman. Right?
Kilman.
What a Bill Thomas Kilman, so it's BTK as well. You fucking douchebag.
He was a funny one.
You fucking twat waffle.
You think he was
shit?
Chuckling to himself as he wrote that out,
Yeah,
or even thought about it?
Chuckling to himself, and I hope he's chuckling to himself one day when somebody gets their hands on him in prison and just literally kicks him in the balls until he's dead.
Has he been contacting? Because I know
Police.
Yeah, at this point.
Most of that started in the 2000s.
Oh, was it that late?
Yeah. He did. Like, he had some. I believe because there was one he left a note in. Like, I think the first one. I don't know when it was found, but I think one of the first ones they found was in a book in a library.
Well, because I thought, I might be wrong here. Correct me if I'm wrong. That when he in his correspondence with the police, you know, kind of Zodiac-esque correspondence. And he wanted to name himself, and he gave he gave them the option, but he gave them other options.
What was it? The garage something,
right? But he
like
gave
all
them
kinds of shit.
He gave them options, correct?
What was the best one was fuck? What was it? There's multiple strangular. I can't fuck. There was one good one, but it sounded like a shitty wrestler name, kind of. But yeah, he did send them a list. The Garrote Phantom, I think, was one of them.
Oh, that's just a little stupid.
Yeah.
The Garrote Phantom.
Yeah.
He didn't even use a garrote, really.
Right? Well,
I mean,
I guess, like, I don't know if there's like a...
But has he already done this? Is he known? He's known as BTK killer. So he must have did that fairly early on, right? Okay.
So we jump forward to January 19th, 1991 with Dolores D. Davis.
Is this the long break he took?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, he already took the long break. Well, it is a long break.
I thought he took like a 16.
He took a couple.
I thought one of them was like a 16-year break.
No, I think the longest one was 7 years, 6 or 7
maybe that's what. Maybe it's 6 or 7.
And then this one was, I think, 5. So he, in January 19th, 1991, Dennis left a scouts outing and changed into his dark clothing in a church that he had keys to before walking over 2 miles to reach Dee's house. This was kind of in his neighborhood. He was getting lazy and ballsy, and that's why this woman was, I think, 62. The later his murders get, the older they get, because he gets older.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah, so he gets worried about somebody younger being able to get the better of him, or God forbid there's a guy around and.
Or
he's like, oh, well, he's 45 now, because, 45, you might as well just be dead, right?
Well, after Kevin's incident where he shot him twice in the head and survived, I'd be a little leery to go with the young ones myself.
#facts. So he actually had trouble getting into her house, so he threw a cinder block through the patio door. Yeah. Which...
overkill, but...
Well, her house was... And also, her house was a little more... off the beaten path. It wasn't like a neighborhood where it was very super close to neighbors and shit like that, so you kind of get away with it a little more.
Right.
When she came running to investigate what was going on, Dennis bound her hands and spent a few minutes talking to her to calm her down, and he told her he was on the run, like his normal shit, and he was acting like he was about to leave and quote unquote uncuffed her just to tie her up and strangle her with pantyhose. Yeah. And then he wrapped her body in a blanket and put her in her car and then dumped her body under a bridge.
Giving these women false hope.
Yes, and that mask we were talking about earlier that he would wear in his pictures that he took of himself, he returned to put that mask on her to quote-unquote pretty her up for the photos that he took of her. Yeah.
This sick fuck.
And then jump ahead to October 2004, he actually, there's not really much on it to talk about really, but it was basically a failed attempt at another victim that like he just never it never came to fruition for him, so it just never happened. So Dennis actually started sending packages to TV stations. He taped one to a street sign, like he fucking dropped one in a UPS drop box. A lot of just random shit this guy did to try to... It's like he wanted the attention, right, but he didn't... He wanted the attention and he wanted the recognition. He just didn't want to get in trouble for it, which is not surprising, really. You know what I mean? So... Yeah, that's... I guess that's one way to handle things. If that's what you want to do. I don't know. But he the one that was taped to a stop sign was in Wichita, and it had graphic descriptions of the Otero murders and a sketch labeled "The Sexual Thrill Is My Bill." Yeah. Also enclosed was a chapter list for a proposed book titled The BTK Story, which mimicked a story written in 1999 by Court TV crime writer David Lohr. Who, though, I mean, I actually kind of know the name. I knew the name David Lohr, so I kind of bookmarked that one. Then July of the same year, a package got dropped into the return slot of a public library, which contained more crazy shit. You okay, Phil?
I'm good, Moon. I'm good, man. Fired.
Including that he was responsible for the death of 19-year-old Jake Allen in Argonia, Kansas earlier that month, but it was not true. Jake Allen killed himself. He gets caught, admitted that in interrogation he was planning to kill again in October of 2004. And then in October of 2004, a envelope was dropped at a UPS box in Wichita. It had cards with images of terror and bondage of children pasted to them, a poem threatening the life of lead investor Lieutenant Ken Landwehr, and a false autobiography with a lot of details about Rader's life, which were later released to the public. And then in December of 2004, Wichita police received another package from the BTK killer. This time, the package was found in Wichita's Murdoch Park. It had the driver's license of Nancy Fox, which was stolen from the crime scene, and the doll that I talked about earlier.
Right.
That was the package I was talking about. because he still had like a lot of these souvenirs that he took, because a lot of them he kept in a tree house that he had built for his son that his son stopped using. And I was like, how is that not sketchy? Nobody's gonna notice the middle-aged man that's climbing up in the treehouse by himself without his kids. His kid's like 19 or some shit. And they're like, man, when are they gonna tear that down? Why is he going into it?
No, because being married, you need a place.
Yeah.
He needed to get away from his wife.
Yeah.
Treehouse works. He knew she wasn't going to climb that tree.
Yeah. So in January of 2005, he actually tried to leave a cereal box in a pickup truck in Home Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But the owner of the truck just threw it away. And then they found it in the trash after he asked what happened to it in another message, because he never heard about it again. So they check the surveillance tapes, and they see some black dark figure in a Jeep Cherokee putting the box in there. Yeah. And then February of 2005, more postcards were sent to KAKE, a local station, Cake Kaka. And another cereal box left at a rural location.
Well, the important thing, what kind of cereal box is it?
Right?
If it was Fruit Loops or Raisin Bran, he can go, well...
Fruit Loops is good.
I like Fruit Loops. Raisin Bran, go fuck yourself.
I like Raisin Bran Crunch.
Oh, you're wrong.
I don't know. I'm weird. I haven't had it in years. It might not be like it used to be, but like Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, fuck that.
Crunch Berries.
Oh, fuck that.
I love Crunch Berries. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, I can do me since...
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a good cereal. It is hands down the best milk that is left over.
Cookie Crisp makes a good fucking milk.
20 years ago. Well, I don't know about now.
I haven't had it probably in 20 years.
Golden Crisp. I love Golden Crisp with Sugar Bear. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I can take it. I can taste the difference.
And you know what milk?
Sugar Smacks and Golden Crisp.
What other cereal makes a good milk? And it's surprising.
Cheerios.
Nah.
Frosted Flakes.
Yes, a little bit. Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks makes some damn good fucking milk afterwards. I don't understand it.
Yes. You're such yes.
How did we get goddamn BTK using the cereal? Tricks are for kids.
Tricks, the cereal is okay. The milk was pretty good afterwards.
I never did like Tricks.
And honeycombs.
Yeah,
honeycombs were good.
Yeah. And Captain Crunch also made some decent peanut butter.
I love every Captain Crunch product.
I'm not a big berry
Reese's
guy.
Puffs was all right.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed with Reese's Puffs.
It was all right.
I mean,
Blueberry's good. Count Chocula.
I don't think I did Count Chocula.
Count Chocula is just like,
I don't know
if you've had any chocolate cereal.
I haven't had.
Oops.
I don't do cereal. Okay. Anyway,
yeah.
Get back to the BTK.
So here's where we get really funny to me.
Okay.
What the fuck?
You need some Viagra for your fucking
Blue Chew, sponsor us.
For your microphone. It just went limp.
So in his while he was corresponding with the police, he asked if he put his writings on a floppy disk, if it could be traced or not.
No, it couldn't.
Of course, the police said, no, Mr. BTK Killer. How would we ever do such a thing like that?
This guy was a fucking idiot.
Yes, and they answered that in an ad posted to the Wichita Eagle. That's kind of how they were corresponding with him, because obviously they don't have a return address until now. Saying of course it would be safe to send us a floppy disk, sir. So on the 16th of February 2005, he sent a purple 1.44 megabyte Memorex floppy disk to the Fox affiliate KSAS TV in Wichita, Kansas. There was also a letter, a gold-colored necklace with a large medallion, and a photocopy of the cover of Rules of Prey, which is a novel by John Sanford about a serial killer. So let's get into the funny stuff. Police found metadata embedded in a deleted Microsoft Word document that was unknown to Raiders, still stored on this floppy disk.
You jackass.
The metadata contained the words Christ Lutheran Church, and the document was marked as last modified by Dennis. Yes. An internet search determined that a Dennis Rader was president of the church council. And then investigators drove to Rader's house. A black Jeep Cherokee was there. The same type that was seen in the Home Depot footage. Yeah. And then that's pretty circumstantial evidence, pretty strong, right? But not strong enough to really take him down and detain him. It's enough to question him and shit like that, but you can't detain him off of that. So what do? They get a warrant to test a pap smear taken from Rader's daughter at the Kansas State University Medical Clinic. Those DNA tests showed a familial match between the pap smear and the sample from Wegerle's fingernails from her fighting back, which obviously shows that the killer was
related to her,
quite closely related to Dennis Rader's daughter, and combined with all the other shit, that gave them enough to arrest Dennis Rader. Yes.
Such a non-climactic.
It's funny though, like it's not funny. It does have its comedic moments where, like on February 25th of 05, because he didn't get caught till 05, 14 years after his first murder.
Oh, longer.
Or after his last murder.
Yeah.
What, 34 years after his first murder.
Yes.
And he literally, he would have continued to get away with it if he wasn't a cocky prick that needed that satisfaction of that. And he did say he was going to start doing it again. So pretty good chance he would have got caught with modern technology.
Let's be honest. For a cocky, he was obviously not smart.
No. So he was arrested on the 25th of February in 05. An officer actually asked him, "Mr. Rader, do you know why you're going downtown?" And Rader replied, "Oh, I have suspicions why." Dickhead. Yeah. So, then you go to court where, like, really, he was charged with 10 murders, set bail at $10 million, got a public defender. Excuse me. On May 3rd, the judge entered his not guilty plea on his behalf, since he didn't speak at his arraignment.
Mm-hmm.
But then on June 27th, the scheduled trial date, that's when Dennis Rader actually changed his plea to guilty and started describing the murders in detail. His fucking, at his arraignment or his sentencing, people made comments from the victim's family and shit. And then after all that, he apologized, quote unquote, in a 30-minute monologue that a prosecutor said was much like an Academy Award acceptance speech.
And I think I saw or read somewhere that the family members of the victims got up and left.
I would have.
I think they did not want to hear it, and they left the courtroom. And
I would have.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not bad there. So he got 10 consecutive life sentences with a minimum of 175 years. And then, like, when they said when they took him to the El Dorado Correctional Facility, he just talked about, like, the weather and shit.
Yeah.
Just normal, just fucking bullshit conversations. And then he's been in solitary confinement ever since. The only thing that's changed for him is in 2006, he was allowed access to television and radio, and was allowed to read magazines, which he shouldn't even get that. And he did get investigated for a lot of like a handful of other shit. None of them stuck.
What was his official body count? I'm honest. 10? For some reason, I thought I heard somewhere like it was actually 30. Maybe that's how many they thought.
They tried to like drop more shit on him than he really. But like I said, they tried to drop quite a bit of stuff on him that just didn't stick.
Because what he had 7 just in 2 murders.
Yeah, his first murder was 4.
And then didn't he have another one that was 3?
No, he had the Otero family was 4. The Brights were 2.
It's 6.
That's his biggest numbers at one time.
I thought one of them was 3.
Other than that, it's single digits, or not single digits. It's a single murder at a time. So,
that's
Dennis Rader.
The documentary I watched a few years, was based around his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine?
Well, because his daughter, more power to her, had the ability to come out and be like, I will never forget what happened, but I forgive you for what you've caused for me in my life. And I was like, that's... I'm not a religious person, but if a saint is a real thing, then she's fucking pretty close to it.
But if I remember correctly, and I could be getting this wrong from this documentary that I watched, it's been a while. She, naturally, her and her mother had the same reaction, the expected reaction when they find out, their father and husband, where they want nothing to do with him.
Well, his daughter or his wife actually got granted a hold on. There's an actual term for this shit. Give me a second. Oh fuck. It's like an emergency divorce. Yeah. And she
even
actually,
faster than an annulment.
Fuck yes. In July 26th of 2005, after his arrest, his wife was granted an emergency divorce. Which I guess just waives the normal waiting period.
I didn't know that was an option.
Right.
I would have used that method back in 2010.
An interview in 2019 with ABC is what you're talking about, I think.
What?
His daughter said that she still writes to her dad,
right,
and has forgiven him, but still struggles to reconcile that he's who he is.
I guess now they are forming some sort of relationship via correspondence.
Yeah.
Which
well, and
you can't blame.
The crazy thing for this story too is like, I wanted to try to pull some of it and clip some out for the show, but I was like, dude, this show's gonna be so fucking long, and we're gonna be on so late. Like, this is long for us to be on. Well, I knocked that out pretty quick.
Yeah, time wise we're pretty good. We're just late because we started late.
I mean, even still, like, I knocked that out pretty quick. There's a lot of information.
Yeah.
I did just kind of read through it,
but
I'm fucking tired. But his confession, or his, I guess I don't know if it's really a confession because it's in court. But did you watch that? It's like, dude, you need just watch it. It's literally like 40 minutes long.
I think it was
him standing there, and the judge is going in order down the line. On this date, tell me about the Otero family, and like he literally just stands there and just normal as fuck just walks him through the murder of everybody that he asks about,
right?
Like in detail, because there's a lot of shit going on there. Like he even talks about he says at one point, points out that he was dropped on his head as a kid, which I'm not downplaying concussions or CT or anything. Like it can cause some fucked up stuff to go on.
Getting dropped once.
Or even like he bites so many other serial killers. Like he stole the Zodiac thing with the correspondence and the logo, if you will. And then he's basically, to me, he steals like a Son of Sam / a couple other people thing, because there's at one point you can read about how he said that it was a demon inside him, and he saw this demon as almost like frog-like, and it would tell him to do this shit. And I was like,
at least he switched it from a dog to a frog.
I was like, what the
good job there, buddy.
I was like, what do you mean you have a fucking frog demon dickhead? What is it? What are you talking to, a sea slack from fucking Land of the Lost?
Yeah, but
this isn't Enoch the All-Knowing, like I said, the sea slack from Land of the Lost. Like, we're not talking about, what the fuck? You're not Pierre the Frog. We're not talking about Kermit's like, hey man, Dennis, you should really tie those people up and strangle them to death. That'd be awesome.
That was a good Kermit.
I'm gonna go pork Miss Piggy. Fucking douchebag.
Now, the sad thing is about this is it, getting back to his daughter, there's one point I want to make. I don't fault her for wanting to have some sort of relationship with her father.
I don't even know if it's wanting to have a relationship with him as much as it might be just gaining closure for herself.
But it seems like it. I can't speak for her from that documentary, if I remember correctly. She forgave him. Never understood. I forget how she worded it. she wanted to communicate with her father. And it sounds like it is back and forth more than just fuck you kind of thing. You know, it's so there is some kind of, and I don't blame her for that, honestly. I mean, you still your father, even though he's a complete cockmunch douchebag.
I mean, yeah, and I'm sure she wanted to wrap her head around
why
how she could live a normal, what seemed to be a normal American family life, and then behind closed doors, this shit's going on.
Right. Yeah.
Because I also question how nobody fucking caught him earlier.
Well, especially like
the Cub Scout thing is my thing.
In some of the
how long? You don't just go and like murder somebody in 10 minutes and come back. Like, how fucking long were you gone from these Cub Scout outings that somebody wasn't like, man, Dennis has been gone for a while.
And some of these pictures,
that lady died last night a mile away from where we were on our camping trip. That's crazy. Literally nothing about that could ever line up.
And he took some of those pictures of himself in the woods while they
tied up with fucking,
you know,
the mask on and shit like that.
While they were on these trips with the Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, whatever. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's, you know, giving the Boy Scouts a bad name.
Also, it's like I said though, like he was such a normal dude.
Ballsy as all hell, I'll give him that.
Yeah, and like if you walk by this dude walking down the street, you would never think he's a serial killer. You'd be like, that guy definitely teaches fucking 5th grade English.
Right.
No, math. He's a math guy. He looks like a math teacher.
He kind of reminds me of Breaking Bad. Just
Walter White?
Yeah, just
chemistry?
Just thicker around her face.
Well, not a bad one.
If he thinned out his face a little bit, was a little bit thinner.
He was the one who knocked.
With the mustache.
Yeah.
About when
Mr. Rader, it's time to choke, bitch.
Yeah. So that's, I bet
it's a fucking crazy story.
Let's see what's Moon you have to say here. Glad you liked it, Joy. Man, even if these people are ill, what does it say? Ill? They are the world. I'm sorry if no help has gotten to them, but normal people are going to act against them in it. Yeah, I mean,
well, that's true, but
it's
like we said, it's your kid and your parent.
I mean, I don't fault her for wanting to understand and
because from my understanding, it doesn't seem like she's really like building a strong what is it, fraternal or paternal relationship with her dad.
It's just
I think it's just kind of trying to understand the whole thing.
But I wouldn't even mind it. I wouldn't blame her if she did want to have some sort of correspondence relationship with I wouldn't blame her. It's not her fault. Her dad's a plot butcher.
Yeah, Dad, I just got that big promotion. And then she gets a letter back to be like, good to see you're killing it, honey. And then she's like, I'm not responding anymore.
I seriously doubt he has that good of a sense of humor.
From what I understand, he doesn't have any fucking sense.
Yes, so
because he's a total fucking psychopath. He's a narcissist. He's got antisocial disorders. He's got obsessive compulsive disorders. Like, these are all things that have been known from fucking from investigations and mental health checks since he's been detained. And that was the other thing is, did you see the whole thing about the FBI profile of the BTK killer, but like back in the day? It was like 80% completely off.
Really?
They were saying that,
of course, that was back when
this is a person that is alone all the time, and they've probably never felt real emotion towards another person, and they live by themselves, and and I'm like, no, dude, this was a family man on his day-to-day life. Like, the FBI was almost entirely wrong. Like,
yeah, I mean, it can't be an exact science.
Oh well, no.
I mean,
and it was pretty new back
it's
then.
still
We're talking about like the 70s.
Yeah, but you would think
Because you got to remember, Ed Kemper was part of the forefront of forming that squadron or that team that would do these analyses of serial killers and criminals.
Right, but you would think over by the mid or the early 2000s, since he hadn't been caught, they'd revamp that, profile. You would think.
I don't think he was really on anybody's radar at that time.
Yeah, well, maybe.
It's been so long. Like it been
true.
34 years since
at the start
30,
of it.
almost 34 years since he started.
When did he get caught again? 2005?
2004, 2005.
And he started in 73 was his first one?
71.
I thought Ortega's or whatever the first.
71.
I thought that was 73. Oh, whatever. So, yeah. Basically my lifetime.
Yeah.
He was active for
longer than I've been alive.
Oh, yeah. His first murder was right around, I was born in 72. So, and he didn't get caught till I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
So I just aged myself, so I'm not 114, as Travis likes to say.
115.
2.5.
But yeah, that like it or not, that is Dennis Rader in a nutshell, folks.
Yeah, but that's
It's 11 p.m.
Yes.
I have to work in the morning.
Well, so do I, so it's all good. We are going
we're still going to sit here and bullshit for like another.
But we're going to start reeling her in.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about here.
No.
Just no, like, when do we ever just fucking, then I leave?
That's true. That is true. It'll be midnight.
Or wind down.
But
on our green screen.
It's not a green screen. I'm not taking it off, though. It's not a green screen, but it looks good, damn it.
It does look good.
So for all of you...
It looks somewhat, like, I thought it was going to look cool. It looks way better than...
We almost look like we know what the fuck we're doing.
It's almost... We're not done yet. There's still some pieces going in here.
Yes, there will be continued additions to this. But we want to thank everybody that joined us in the live chat. We had Moon, we had Gonzo was here for a while, Jenny was here, Jade was here, Joy, Greg was here. We want to thank those guys and girls who
actually had some numbers.
Who kept the chat going on. It was lively in the chat. We like to see that from you guys. Don't forget about Wednesday, 8 o'clock. We will be back. Who will be here? Who knows? But just the What the Fuck Wednesday is the name we settled on.
I like it.
What the Fuck Wednesday.
I don't have to worry about being on camera as much anymore. I don't know why I'm kicking my shoes off now right before we're done, but like it just seems like a great idea. I just talked about serial killing and strangling for 2 hours. But
you can join us. It'll be 8 o'clock Wednesday. Be more of a weird, wacky news story kind of episode. Nothing too serious, no topics, just whatever I find in the news, we will talk about. And Travis is making funny. And it will not be a very long episode. I want to keep these under an hour.
The What the Fuck Wednesdays?
What the Fuck Wednesday. From 8 to 9 with a hard out. A hard out at 9.
Depending on what time we start.
I'm starting at 8 o'clock sharp.
Whether I'm here or not.
Whether you're here, you can come in late.
That's fair.
Because it's just going to be more fun. It's going to be a fun episode. It's kind of reminiscent of the old shit show.
Good times.
Just nothing major, no big storyline, just news, just facts, and it's going to be crazy.
We should be real assholes and put this behind the Patreon paywall.
No, this is going to be free for the masses.
We do.
But that's really, that's why, and I'm actually thinking about Thursdays. You might want to, if you don't take the podcast in, via audio or your favorite podcast app, your favorite podcast app, you might want to check there as well and subscribe to that, because I think maybe twice a month on Thursday, have a Throwback Thursday and do a classic.
Just talk shit about ourselves.
Just replay kind of do a new intro. We might record an intro.
On YouTube?
No, just the audio feed. Just on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio on Thursdays. It won't be on YouTube. It'll just be on the RSS feed for the podcast listeners. I'll just play an old episode, but maybe cut a new intro. We might cut an intro for them on Monday, or when we do the Sunday show, we'll cut a new intro for it. But be on the lookout for that a couple times a month. I think that's about it. Don't forget, you can follow us on all the major podcast apps. You can share the episode. Not podcast app, all the major social media apps. What the fuck am I talking about? Follow us on Instagram at ghost_night_podcast. Twitter at night_ghost. You can find little short videos, TikTok at ghostinthenight.podcast. That's Travis's baby. And on Facebook, which we're not as active on Facebook.
All right.
Facebook is at Ghost of the Night. Those are our social medias. Be sure to like and follow us on all those to get updates and see some of our shenanigans that we do. If you want bonus material or just want to support us, go to patreon.com/GITM podcast. That is our Patreon account. We do have
We'll be getting back on fucking putting shit on there too.
Yeah, I've kind of started putting grouping some of our shorts together on there, but I think there's over 60, Patreon only episodes that you can only get from the Patreon or for the behind the Patreon wall. That's really the best way to show support for the podcast, other than just watching. If you want to contribute to the fund in the background, our green screen background, which is not a green screen.
It does look good, though.
It looks good, man. We almost look like we know what we're doing.
Need to bring my side in.
Let's see.
Oh, I see what it is. I see why my side
what do we got?
Doesn't cover as much.
Also, I have a quick comment, if available. What do you have a comment about?
I think she's talking about leaving a comment on the video.
Oh, leave a comment.
Maybe.
Like it and leave a comment. And she shared it. So, God love you. We thank you. You guys are great. What are we doing?
Go ahead. I'm about to do some live fixing right now because I'm pretty sure I know why yours shows up more than my side. Oh, look at my ass.
Nobody wants to see that plumber's crack. Oh, it's not. It's tucked, isn't it?
Yep.
Kind of like your penis.
Not by choice.
Oh, yeah. I can tell already. It's better.
My penis?
No. All right, but I hope you guys like the new look we got going on.
Don't mind me.
We aren't. We don't mind you. But like I said, thanks for everybody coming on. We will...
Better. Oh, fuck yeah.
we will see you next... We will be back Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
My bad.
Hey, thanks, Jade, for... be sure to share all that stuff on Facebook, too. Jade just... followed us on Facebook, so that is awesome. We love to hear it. Be back on Wednesday at 8 o'clock for a little quick easy show, and then we'll be back next Sunday for a full-fledged show. 176 will be that number. Good night, Joy.
Gate.
What?
The Heaven Gate.
Yes, we're going down the cult. I want to be a cult leader. Heaven's Gate cult.
I've literally been saying for like the last week, I'm just gonna fucking start a cult.
I want to be a cult leader. I don't know. I'm not charismatic enough.
I am.
You are.
You can run. You can.
Can I be the number 2?
Yeah, I'll be Jim Jones. You can be my Mr. Muggs.
Well, Mr. Muggs, the number 2 is the one that always rats out the big guy.
I don't know. I just know Mr. Muggs, the monkey, was the one that apparently. I think he might have run Jim Jones' fuck schedule. He had a schedule.
It'd be like drinking. 2 for me, 1 for you.
You die first.
Good night, Jade. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for everybody showing up. Once again, we love you guys. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So I think we're gonna wrap it up. You got anything you want to say?
It's not a goddamn green screen.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week. We'll see you Wednesday and on next Sunday for Heaven's Gate. We're out.
Bye.